Anybody there? Time is running out. Too many things to say. So I've got to slowly cram in everything. Now we are on the topic on the consciousness. In the discourse itself, the contemplation of the consciousness begins by saying, when there arises the consciousness of lust, one knows that there is this consciousness with lust. When there is consciousness without lust, he knows this consciousness without lust. When there is a consciousness with anger, he knows. When there is a consciousness without anger, he knows. There is consciousness with delusion, he knows. In consciousness without delusion, he knows. And then so on. Satipatthana Sutta, the discourse talks about different consciousnesses as one goes on from the lower forms, the higher forms. And of course, the lower forms are like what we have been talking about in the first talk on the 5 hindrances. The 5 hindrances are also the defilements spoken in terms of how they hinder the development of right concentration. But here when you talk of this last anger and delusion, it refers to the defilements as roots in the sense of roots of existence. So it goes into something much further, but basically they are the same unwholesome forces. Today somebody was telling me about wholesome, unwholesome. Just to let you know, in the case of others who have some doubts, the wholesome, unwholesome, kusala, akusala in Pali is often more translated as skillful and unskillful. Although the earlier translators used good and evil. Nowadays they are becoming more aware. Now they are not based on somebody's commandments. Not because it was written in the books. One of the things that attracted a lot of Westerners to Buddhism was the Kalama Sutta. One do not believe merely because of hearsay, because of this, because of that, including because my teachers say so, or because the scriptures say so, and so on and so on. Or it seems so. But if you practice and try and look at properly what it is, and then you know it is true. So in this sense, the Buddha trusted the mind of the individual to be able to discern and not rely on some kind of authority. And the proof is in the proof of the pudding is in the eating of it. I was giving an example, for example, anger. You don't have to say it's bad. You look at the nature of the angry mind, then you know. You're angry, first you're suffering. Secondly, you're causing other people suffering. I won't go too much into all this ethical stuff. So anyway, we come back to the word. Now we talk about these roots. You see, the defilements in terms of hindrances is classified in a certain way, described in a certain way, and roots is in a certain way. Now, why do we call them these unwholesome roots? You see, in these teachings, it is based on experience, and is based on experience of reality. Yeah? And the Buddha himself said, you do not just believe my teachings because I say so. You must test it as you test silver by fire, gold by fire. So it is something that is, if you look at it in a bigger scale, it is something to do with the nature of reality. The nature of reality is explained to the ordinary person are the three universal characteristics, anicca, dukkha, anatta. You see, the moment it arises, it disappears. And dukkha here, suffering, refers not just to pain of the body and mind. It just means it is pain of the body and mind, and it is the base of pain of the body and mind, the base for it. And in more philosophical terms, it talks about it's incomplete, unsatisfactory. And so you're looking for perfection, this is not it. And non-self here refers to that there's no personal that is absolutely in control. No being is absolutely in control. Because these natures, these qualities are conditioned, they're interdependent. That's why the Buddhist doctrine of dependent origination. Because of this, that arises. Because of that, this arises. Not just one after another, but multiple. It's the story of the chicken and the egg. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Once there was in Thailand, there was these two friends who were arguing about which came first, the chicken or the egg. The argument because some so bad that one killed the other. I forgot which one. The chicken killed the egg, or the egg killed the chicken. But actually it happened. So, based on that, you see that existence is just like a flow of the river, like a river of life. It's not something you can hold on to. You feel you want to hold on to if you want to hold on to something, then sooner or later you surely get disappointed. Because you can't hold on to it. You're frustrated. I said, no, this is my voice. No, this should not come to me. This should not happen to me, but it comes. I don't want to die, but it does you die. I don't want to grow old, you grow old. So people look for eternal youth, eternal life, whatever that is. No. So, this is the truth. It's very observant. It's something like, when there is a conflict with nature and reality, a conflict with truth and reality, then suffering naturally occurs. You should suffer. There's nothing wrong with reality. It's just as it is, right? It's only when you cannot accept it, then you suffer. You cannot accept it also because you do not really know what it is about. It shouldn't be like this. And then you suffer. It does not mean that we have to accept everything just like that. No, we accept reality, but we can still do something. And so comes again the Malaysian wisdom. We try our best, but leave to karma the rest.
That's good.
After many years of vipassana in Malaysia, something comes out of it. So, for example, if the craving and anger and delusion keeps coming out more and more, then you better be careful. You're going to do something about it. The first, because you accept the situation, and then you must do something about it. In most cases, something can be done. And if you delay the process or you overcome it. So it basically ends up in solving problems. The root of problems is in our own mind. The root of the existential problem is our own mind. So, if it is in our own mind, then you will go into your mind and solve it. Simple. Right? If the problem is with the pump, you go and solve the pump. But if the problem is your mind, you solve the mind. So where they go? They go to psychiatrists. And they put you on tranquilizer, Valium and whatnot, and numb you. Long ago, I remember I was in Burma. There was this psychiatrist. Psychiatrist, why are you here? Because he says, psychiatrist, I know what I'm doing. I'm just pumping people in and make their minds numb. I'm going to find a better way.
Yeah.
So that's where meditation comes in. So why don't we go directly to the mind? Go straight to the point. Hit the nail on the head. Well, it's not so easy. People play chess. Anybody likes to play chess? I don't like. Because I'm always in the present moment. I can't think beyond the present moment. Even the mic is laughing. No, I've lost track of my thoughts.
Yes. The mind. Nail on the head.
Oh, I hit the nail on the head. So, anyway, because you're playing with the master, the master that has imprisoned you in samsara for a long, long time. Yeah? The mind knows more things than you. No, it's a little mind. So you play, imagine you're playing chess with a computer. That's where the one comes in. And usually you lose more than you win. Correct? Because they program all the steps to the computer, and the computer knows how to move. Now the mind is more tricky. Because it's not just the computer, it's aeons of things, information locked there, and you are not has access to it, but the mind has. So he has tricked you millions of times, has fooled you millions of times, and he will do it again. And so, but you have a secret trump card. You have the method given by those who have outdone the mind. This is the Buddha himself, the Arahant, and they have somehow figured a way, by hook or by crook, but out of the, I call it the sacred puzzle. You fill the sacred puzzle back to square zero. Try again. Better luck next time. So anyway, you have something in hand. Otherwise, it's very difficult. I could tell you stories, but not without much time. I can't resist this one. Buddhism has been in Sri Lanka a long time. It was transmitted to Sri Lanka during the period of King Asoka. What century was that, Stefan? You did a
3rd century BC.
Huh? 3rd century.
2nd or 3rd century.
It's correct, somewhere around there. No, it has been there a long time. And people have arahants and all that for a long time. But it's been a long time ago. In the turn of the 50s, when there was the Sixth Council, so before that they were also meditative monks and practitioners, austere and serious, but they never found a way again. They have all the texts, the Visuddhimagga, the path of purification, but they could not find a way. One would think that it was so clearly written in the texts and the commentaries, but they couldn't find a way. See how tricky it is. It has to come from the Burmese who have still preserved the practice of Vipassana over to Sri Lanka. After the Sixth Council, that is in around 1950, it was about 3 years, they brought it over there, and then they got back the method. How could they not have known with all these scholars that they still have? And during that period, they have given up hope. It says that this is not a period where people get enlightened. And so they're working for their perfections and come up to the next Buddha. Can you imagine? It was only recently, in the 40s and 50s. So I'm amazed because there was this study of these forest monks and so on. So when the method was transmitted back to Burma, from Burma, there was this sudden revival. It's amazing. Anyway, where am I? Also, yes. So, the what we can go directly a bit, of course, but it's not so easy because the mind is very tricky. You have to build step by step the foundation before you meet with the master. Similarly, these Kung Fu masters are the same. I saw a video of this Kung Fu master in Malaysia. you know, this Tai Chi, Kung Fu Tai Chi master, you know, they challenge by push hand method, you know, push hand. You push you and you fall down, so you lost idea. You know? The play of balance and many things. You know? So some of them came and push, up, fall down. Another one come, push, fall down. Okay. Then of the whole group, there was a young Western man. You know? So he pushed him to try the old master. He couldn't even get near him. He was walking nearby and he fell down. So he tried again, he went nearby and he fell down. You know? And because his chi was so strong. Yeah. So that's why you cannot advance get to the master. You can try, but you know, you may work sometimes if you are some kind of prodigy. So what you do is you build up the mindfulness of the body and feelings first. In the meantime, you're watching the hindrances, you're watching your intentions, you're watching all those things. And so the mindfulness of consciousness is also being built up to some degree. And so you start by the land, and then you go to the water, and then you start flying. You start going slowly into deeper waters. That's why we emphasize first on the mindfulness of body and feelings, then into consciousness. Consciousness is also used in the beginning, but not as a primary object. When you use the mind as a primary object, as a main object to build up your mindfulness and understanding, then certain conditions has to be met. The first is you have to have reached a certain degree of continuity in your mindfulness. That means after you build up mindfulness, after some time, your mindfulness goes on by itself. You don't need extra effort to be mindful. It just cruises along. That means you don't have to effort. Sit there and mindfulness takes care. And why? Because these defilements arise through craving, anger, delusion arise through latent conditions. Habit. For example, the good saying, you don't know that you don't know. How do you know that you don't know? You're either deluded or you're not. If you're deluded, there's no mindfulness. How can you be mindful of delusion? So how? The question, the answer is in the what one professor she was trying to understand, because she was a she professor and around her was all the he professors. Because she happened to be in the physics department. Physics, but not many ladies around. She is one of them. No? So they always call her. You meditate, okay. How do you meditate? You wash the mind. How can the mind wash the mind? Then you have two minds. And then there was this little thing going on. And so she asked me, so I finally tried to explain to her. So finally she said, I got it. I said, what have you got? The mind He said, because the mind is not a closed system. Yeah? I don't exactly know what she meant, but it sounded right. But I suppose means that there are more things to it than you think. No? Than you can think of. No? Because the mind has certain things that the rational mind, the psychologists, they still don't understand. So, but in this case, we can explain it to some degree because of the latent tendency. The mind is, we cannot consider it only, as I said yesterday, only in the present moment. It involves all time periods, all the time periods, and including time-free conditions. So it's very tricky. And so, what we do is, we work with this, is like, you develop mindfulness, and mindfulness, same with defilements, until the point that there is a strong habitual tendency being built up. That means there's an underlying current, momentum, force. So that when you need it, it can come out. You can condition to arise in certain conditions, under certain conditions, and it comes out. For example, a person who is practicing regularly, he don't need so much effort to be mindful. In fact, he doesn't need to try to be mindful. He's mindful. Because of what? Habit. Whether the person who is always distracted may have to do it regularly. And so, because of that, of your constant, continuous practice, even though for a moment or two, craving arises, anger arises, delusion arises, immediately pop, the mindfulness will come immediately. So, because of that, when you want to take consciousness as a primary object, you need to have developed this continuity well enough so that the mind can take care of itself, at least for some time. Before is that more and more thinking, after that, too many coming up, you cannot control. And then you have to start building up more foundations of mindfulness again, and then go to it. So now we come to this craving, anger, delusion. Talk about it a bit because this is important for a lot of beginners and for daily life, where you can really get out of control. Because for a person who does not know meditation, then he would have to rely on a lot of external help. That means if you can live in a more conducive, suitable environment that is stress-free, for example, and so that would help the person to be able to control these defilements. This, in the practice, comes under sila, discipline. Where to stay, who to stay with, what to eat, what not to eat, and so on and so on. This I won't go into this. These are the 7 suitabilities of place, of people, of food, of posture, of weather, and so on. But if you know meditation, then you are at an advantage. Because you are beginning to handle the horse or donkey directly. So the usual method people use is samatha. Tie him up, the people, like for example, one of the first examples they give about taming the wild horse is tying up to a pole. And after a while, he calms down, and then you can train him in other things. Samatha is something like that. But some horses rather prefer to die than to be tied up. And it becomes more difficult. In such case, two things happen. Either it dies or it goes crazy. So there has to be other ways. Slowly, slowly. But generally, if you don't do too hard samatha, generally it works. There are different samatha objects to help in controlling certain defilements. But the normal one, which is usually taught nowadays in the Theravada tradition, one is the Anapanasati. The other one is metta, loving kindness. And these are the two more popular ones. Because these two are soft and safer. Of the two, metta is safer than anapanasati. Okay? But anapanasati is generally very safe. Anapanasati is understood to be more suitable to distracted people, because the breath is very soft and calming. Metta is suitable for angry temperament, where people have a lot of stress and anger. That is very suitable for it, because it brings joy and love, which is opposite of hate. When these strong defilements are weakened, then can deal it better with mindfulness.